Hi, I'm Milton Friedman,
And I'm Catcher Freeman.
and this is your morning economics news. Since the late 70s, when the United States government began the war on drugs, $1 trillion of taxpayer money has been spent to combat drug use, but there's been very little to show for this expenditure.
Since then, the price of cocaine has almost been cut in half, suggesting that the supply has actually increased since the war began, and exposing the failure of war on drugs. Although there are punishments for possession of illegal substances, the punishments for selling and transporting illicit drugs are much harsher. Targeting smuggling rings, spraying poppy fields, and combating the cartels are all tactics the government use. This shows that the government focuses on the supply of drugs instead of demand when they are trying to reduce the usage of drugs. However, this isn't working.
Those who are experts in the war on drugs see two possible ways to solve the drug problem. Mao's way, killing all users and suppliers, or Milton's way, legalizing all drugs. In short, they must either completely get rid of the suppliers or remove all restrictions from the supply and demand and let the market be free. Recently, efforts toward legalizing drugs have been made, and it seems likely that drugs will be less restricted in the United States in the future. Snoop Lion will be celebrated.
In the last 3.5 years, China has undergone sudden economic growth. This began when the government shifted from a state-run economy to an economy open for private companies. China's vast population and resources have combined to fuel a GDP growth over nearly 10% over the last 30 years. This growth has lifted 500 million people out of poverty and vaulted China into a battle with the United States for the world's largest economy. Wait, where's Milton?
Hi, Catcher. I'm here in China. This growth has not come without certain problems. Environmental concerns, as you can see here at this work site, have caused large issues on the horizon for China. Furthermore, China's GDP per capita is only 92nd in the world, behind many developed countries. The standard of living in China is substantially lower than that of any other places. This gap is due to a large portion of the China population in rural areas, much like this one. To address this, government has been trying to force them to move to cities. This is one of many reasons that some economists are predicting a crash for China's economy, or a slowdown in growth at least. Back to you, Catcher.
This would have a noticeable impact on the world economy, possibly extending the current recession. China's rapid growth cannot go on forever, and the inevitable decline in growth will have a far-reaching impact.
Russia has annexed the region of Crimea in Ukraine, and their economy has seen a dramatic slowdown. The rest of the world's disapproval has been shown mostly through economic sanctions. Countries don't want to be identified as allies with Russia, so they are distancing themselves from them. Investor confidence in Russia has tumbled, leading to rising interest rates and a crash in the stock market.
As one of the world's largest energy producers, this slowdown has caused ripples in the supply field for the rest of the world. Prices may rise even more, and consumers will be forced to take on these prices due to the inelasticity of energy demand. Also, as an escalation in economic sanctions will cut the ruble's value by a third and would undo 10 years of financial and monetary policy.
According to one of Putin's advisors, there's a global economy which the US and Europe have not been masters of for a long time. Putin's approval rating is also at 80%, so he has no worries.
So about 5 minutes ago, we took a trip to the sweltering Greece. And in late 2008, Greece's economy crashed when the global recession hit. Years of excessive spending and loose lending led to a severe increase in the nation's debt, which was exposed when the economic downturn hit. As of now, Greece's debt is larger than their yearly GDP. European leaders agreed to give them a €100 billion bailout loan, and when that didn't work, they gave them another loan.
The loans, Greece has slashed spending and increased taxes on tobacco, alcohol, and raised the retirement age in the hopes that this would decrease their deficit. But this has led to protests and unrest among the working classes. And
give me your job!
Milton, Ketchup, you guys alright? Well, it appears we have some problems over in Greece.
But this has been the Daily Economic News. Thanks for stopping by.